Hello everyone! As you can see, we are playing games because the topic of our today's discussion is about gaming. Gaming in education. So that's why today in our studio, myself, the staff geek of Kaspersky, I have invited a special guest, Head of Nerdy Affairs, Denis Barinov.
Hey everyone.
So we're going to discuss the role of gaming in business. My point is that businesses should not play games. What do you think?
And my point is that the games, it's the only thing the business should do. Should
Really?
play, right? Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a debate. You will vote who wins this debate and if businesses really should play games or shouldn't. As usual, we are going to give away the masterclass license 1-year subscription for those of you who are going to answer correctly the question about Own Your Future interactive adventure. That will come in a few minutes, so stay tuned, look for chat for my questions and links. And we're going to start the first round of our battle, our debate about the purpose of gaming. As you can see, we have this guy, the QR guy on the back of our studio. He will come into play later on. So let's start the game, round one.
Let's go.
So I think businesses is like serious business. We should not play games like ever. Why should we?
Because actually playing games, it's the only way to make the person learn something. What I mean by that is that if you, for example, you are trying to change the behavior of any person, like, for example, you try to make him do this everyday jogging in the morning. And, well, what motivation can he or she possibly have? Of course, well, and you're saying, okay, so let's do it. Let's do it in the following way. So, for example, we're making a bet that if you're going to run 3 kilometers each day, then at the end of the week, I will give you a bonus. I don't know. It may be a sum of money, maybe something else, but this is a gamification. And a person starts to run every day just because he or she has a goal, and this is about gaming, right? So the same thing goes for cybersecurity, because let's be honest, nobody really cares about cybersecurity. I mean, among average employees. Just because, you know, it's something, it's a compliance thing. It's something which is not that important for me personally, and that's why I don't want to waste some time on it.
Okay.
But the thing is that if we are to propose you to learn something in cybersecurity in an engaging manner, in a game format, then it's a totally different story.
Okay. Let me disagree. So,
right.
First of all, I think what you are calling gamification is actually called motivation in our old school business. That's my point number one.
All right.
My point number two is that, not everything should be gamified. Well, I spent some time developing web interfaces for websites I was supervising. And one of the reasons not every user experience should be like made fast and sweet is that sometimes people have to go through some serious steps, otherwise they will not learn. And I think cybersecurity is one of these processes where you have to learn step by step, painfully, but through all these hardships of cybersecurity, otherwise you will not learn. What can you say about that?
Well, firstly, again, you need to have some motivation to go through all this painful learning.
That's what I said.
Right. But you know, for an average user, the cybersecurity is not his profession. It's not something he will make his hobby or something. And that is why he needs to be additionally motivated to go through this, as you said, painful process. In order to do so, we need to create an environment for him that he will spend time learning it just out of fun. You know, because do you like play games, by the way?
Well, I do. I have to admit that I do like playing games, but I just don't spend a lot of time. I think games are for recreation, while business is for business.
And which game do you like? Do you like chess, for example?
Not really. I prefer Phoenix Point, turn-based squad-level strategy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Phoenix Point. Okay, so if we are to make a game about cybersecurity, which is based on the very same mechanism,
Okay.
like step-by-step strategy, and you have to control some resources and to manage the resources, and in the end you win over your opponent. Will it like engage you, or at least interest you to look deeper, like what it's all about?
I think yes, it will. It would engage myself. However, I think I would learn something in the end. But isn't it like very expensive to make a game just to teach myself or people like myself some specific thing like cybersecurity?
Yes.
It is expensive.
No. Well, it is relatively expensive. It's definitely more expensive than do a webinar, you know, in a Zoom format, for example. But when we're talking about webinar, what you will get in the end? Well, nothing. Because, okay, you will listen to some guy, okay, he's cool, and that's all. You will not change your behavior, and that's the point. When you play the game, and especially if it's a role-playing game, so you're using a certain role model, and that if you are interested and if you like you play it for some time, it definitely will spill over your real life, and that's what we're trying to do with our cybersecurity games, for example.
Okay. Again, I am not arguing that you may teach me something through the game, and it will have a long-term impact on my life. What I'm arguing is that it's maybe very expensive, and you mentioned webinars, okay? To host a webinar, all that we need to do is to have like pay for a license or arrange promotion so that the number of viewers is sufficient enough. But in case of education, I think we will have enough viewers inside our company if we're trying to teach our employees. But still, at the end of the day, what business is about is comparing the benefits to the costs. And what are the benefits using the games for teaching the same things which we would use with other less costly things?
Well, the first obvious benefit is that it is effective. I mean, like I said, what you got in the end is a user or a learner who actually learns something. And the second one, he not only learned that, he is motivated to use it in his like daily life when we're talking about cybersecurity. The third point is that it's not, I mean, some like very sophisticated video games like VR games, they probably expensive. But
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. About the guy, let him play for a while. And but it's not. You can gamify almost anything with no cost at all. You just need to introduce, you know, some basic elements like the competitiveness, like some goal to strive for, like some, I don't know, basic currency. You can do this with, you know, with just in a Zoom format with Excel file or whatever. You just, you know, while you're, you know, you are making your children to do something, you say to them, okay, so you earn 1 point while washing the dishes, you earn 1 more point while walking with the dog, and you earn one more points while, I don't know, what else children do? Like,
I don't know.
Go to sleep on time.
Do their homework.
Do the homework, like, yeah, and you will have 3 points at the end of the day, and you can spend it on, you know, you can change it to a currency, for example, for 10 rubles, I don't know, or you can save
$10, remember, it's an international audience.
Yeah, and but that doesn't really matter what the exact gift at the end the children will receive, but it is the process which it is gamified, right? So it has some motivation in itself, and it costs you like 0, apart from those 10 rubles you will spend later. So my point is that you can make the game with almost any budget. Of course, if you want to make like a cyberpunk, and you have 10 rubles, it probably won't work. But again, when you're shifting your expectations with your budget, you can make a decent game with almost any budget you have.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk about the budget issue a little bit later. To wrap up our first round, to catch some breath, I'm kicking off our voting. So I've shared a link in chat, and you will be seeing QR code on the screen somewhere here, I guess. You can use your mobile phone, just scan the QR code and vote through the mobile app, or click on the link in chat. I remind you that after our second round, I will share the question, and the first people who answer this question right will receive our gifts, 1-year masterclass licenses as a giveaway.
You see, you're already gamifying the process.
I am, I'm cheating.
Right.
So let's take a pause. You can vote now. We're taking a short break and showing you an example of how to assess the users, like, how do you say it? Efficiency?
Their knowledge in cybersecurity, how to make an assessment which is not painful and which is quite engaging.
Okay, thank you.
Cybersecurity solutions are evolving and humans are a target for hackers. Changing employee behavior can be a challenge. People aren't highly motivated about cybersecurity and often don't realize that they have gaps in their knowledge. Companies don't know which employees to train or where to start. The Kaspersky Gamified assessment tool quickly measures the level of your employees' cybersecurity skills, engaging and motivating them for further learning. It takes only 5 minutes for the administrator to adjust the settings, create a link for the employees, and send them an email using the ready-to-use template. Employees will go through everyday situations related to cybersecurity, assessing whether the character's actions are risky or not, and expressing the level of confidence in their response. They must evaluate each situation using chips. Each answer is worth a certain number of points. Users put green if they think it's safe, or red if they think it's dangerous. The number of chips indicates how confident they are in their answer. The results are multiplied by confidence level. You can earn more or lose more. Users' final score reveals their cybersecurity awareness level, and they get feedback on every zone with explanations and tips. There are 3 scenarios for the assessment: working in open space, while traveling, and home office. Use one or all 3. After the assessment, a certificate is awarded and recommendations given on which topics require extra attention and improvement. Find out the current level of employees' knowledge, show them that cybersecurity training can be interesting, and motivate them to learn. Join the Gamified assessment tool and engage your employees with cybersecurity.
Hello, everyone. Say hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to our studio. Today we're discussing the gamification and business education. Myself, staff geek of Kaspersky, and my guest, head of nerdy affairs, as we call him. We are arguing, and we had the first round of our discussion where we were talking, should businesses actually play games? I can see that a few people have already voted. If our editor can show us the results, okay, you have seen them. I remind you that you can vote for yourself by clicking on the link in chat or using the QR code. Scan it with your mobile phone, use any way possible and convenient for you. Also, I am reminding you that in a few minutes, I will ask a question in chat about Own Your Future interactive adventure, and those who answer this question correctly will receive our prize, 1-year masterclass subscription. Now, as we're moving on to the second round of our discussion, I actually have a few questions from chat. So one of the viewers said that people should play games to sort of relieve themselves of stress. Okay. What do you think about that?
Well, definitely, and actually I'm using this the games for relieving myself from stress. And well, my wife knows it all too well, because for example, because I have a hoodie. For example, I'm wearing a hoodie today. It's like from Assassin's Creed. I really like Assassin's Creed.
You probably play too much, I guess.
Probably. No, I don't have time for that because I'm playing. This is part of my job, for example, to play the games.
Got him.
So you have like maybe half an hour, maybe an hour in the day. But you using the video games to relax a bit and to switch to something else and to go to some virtual world. This is actually a pretty good way to change the environment, especially when you are sitting at home, not able to go anywhere because of lockdown. Because we had to mention it at least once in this, right?
Yes.
Lockdown. Yeah. And,
okay, I get your answer. Back to question.
Right.
Probably you don't have a lot of stress, but back to business. I mean, business sometimes can be stressful. It's normal. When people sign up for a job, they accept these kind of rules of engagement at work. So work sometimes involves some stress. It's okay. But it's not probably, first of all, a business issue. And second of all, well, not everybody likes to play. People can be relieving their stress in other ways. Mm-hmm. For example, read a book, go for a swim, which is probably more healthier for you. What can you say about that?
Well, this is actually a good point, because when we're talking about education in cybersecurity, you have to take into the account that a lot of people who are going to learn to teach, they are not fond of games whatsoever, and they just like, okay, give me some very quick checklist, I'll go through it, and then I'll go to work. And that is why we'll have to design the game in a way that it would be appealing to to majority of people. So you have to take very basic mechanics, like card game, for example. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of a spoiler, because today we'll talk about card game. That. And maybe about making bets, and about making some like very simple decisions to spend money and time on something. And if you're introducing a very simple mechanic, which is engaging to a lot of people, because everybody play games like once in a while, right? So everybody know how to play. I don't know, not poker, but maybe you have this Russian card game which is called Fool or Durak. I don't know. And if
that was Turkish, I guess.
Probably, yeah. Of course, if you are proposing some very sophisticated game mechanics, like some shooting game or Assassin's Creed or some strategy, then a lot of people say, I don't want to learn the rules. I don't want to play it. But again, my point is that if this game is very simple and it's based on the competitiveness, then it inevitably will involve like 90% of the people, and with 10% we can live. Okay.
So do I get you right that you are saying that even people who don't like playing games, if they are engaged correctly, 9 out of 10 will play games?
Yes.
Okay. Now you mentioned card games. That's a very important topic to discuss because maybe, card games usually associated with something like not so legal in many jurisdictions. And maybe there are some areas where businesses should not play games, which are not considered legal.
You mean gambling?
For example.
It's true that, for example, in the Middle East, you cannot introduce a game based on gambling because it's kind of forbidden there. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that in the Middle East they don't like games. They just like different type of games. And so we just need to change, again, the basic mechanics of it. And then a lot of people there, for example, they do love the games where you have to compete and win over some big prize. And so I would say that in 2020 we understood, all of us, that even in the spheres that games weren't used before, now it's the only way to make a difference. Just because everybody heard a lot of seen a lot of webinars, a lot of talking heads, a lot of lectures, a lot of whatever, and it's so damn boring.
It is sometimes. So I have to admit it.
You are looking for another experience, right? You are looking for more engaging experience online, and more engaging experience. It's almost inevitably a game, especially in the cyberspace.
Is it only about online? You were talking about cards. like in previous 5 minutes?
You can play the cards online.
Aha.
You can play cards in VR, but you can play it
That's
like
why we have the VR guy.
Yeah, that's what he's doing here. You have a lot of examples where you use the card games for online.
Okay.
Like Kasinka.
Solitaire.
Solitaire, yeah.
Now, back to business. Is there a connection between cards and business? You mentioned there is a Kaspersky Industrial Protection Simulation.
Right.
Can you say a few words about that?
Yeah, this is a game which was developed like 5 years ago, and it's very I'd say it's a very successful project because it implies all the rules and mechanics of a successful game I just mentioned. So it has this very simple principle in it, like you are playing as a cybersecurity task force, a cybersecurity team. Which is to save the business of a corporation or a power plant or hospital. We have different scenarios there. You use you manage two types of resources. This is time and money, and you spend them on actions which are like pictured on the cards.
On the cards. So it's a card game.
It's using the principles of a card game, and you have to decide it within a team. So it's a teamwork on which cards you have to spend your money in order to save the day. And in the process, you are competing with other players. So we are like in my experience, we had like almost 250 people playing at the same time.
Wow.
It's like 80 teams or something, and it's like you see this leaders board, and then you see it like you have five turns, and each turn everything changes.
But isn't it like they are gambling the virtual money on these cards?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Our other project, Gamified assessment tool is kind of based on gambling. Just the
previous one.
The previous one you've seen, yeah. But this one has nothing to do with the gambling. It has everything to do with the teamwork, and making the business decisions. Because at the end, your goal is to earn money. So the goal of the game is to earn $1 million.
Okay.
By making cybersecurity decisions.
Enough words. We are going to show you what this Kaspersky Industrial Protection Simulator is about.
How it looked like before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because it's...
How do you establish a cyber safety culture within your organization? And improve cooperation between departments when it comes to cybersecurity? For 2 hours, you'll become a member of the IT security team. You'll learn how to respond rapidly and flexibly to different types of cybersecurity incidents.
KEEPS is a strategic team sim game that demonstrates the connection between business efficiency and cybersecurity. Participants won't become IT professionals, but as they play, they will change their perceptions about cybersecurity and understand the key issues. The game doesn't just feed answers, it forces players to think strategically, anticipate the consequences of the attack, and respond accordingly.
Every decision you make affects all business processes, and your main goal is to keep things running smoothly.
Just like in real life, you see only the consequences of an attack, have limited resources, and every decision you make impacts the business.
KEEPS boosts cybersecurity awareness among decision makers. This means better support for cybersecurity implementations in the future and increase cybersecurity levels for your entire organization.
The team that finishes the game with the most revenue, having found and analyzed all the pitfalls in the cybersecurity system and responded appropriately, wins.
Staff aren't always that keen on cybersecurity training, and this is why we created a program that's useful and fun.
KEEPS has numerous industry-specific scenarios: airport, corporation, bank, oil and gas, transport, power station or water plant, local public administration, petrochemical industry, petroleum holding. Keeps Connect security management and business continuity management for the benefit of both.
Hi again, back to our studio where we today are discussing the problem of gamification in business education. My name is Sergey Lurie, I'm staff geek of Kaspersky, and our guest today is Head of Nerdy Affairs, Denis Barinov.
Hey.
So don't forget to vote in chat and using the QR code which is shown here. In very few minutes, very soon, I'm going to ask a question about the interactive video adventure for which the winner of the right answer will receive a 1-year masterclass subscription. Now back to our discussion. Round 3 of our debate, there was a question which I would like to air to you. So people are the biggest security problem. How games can address this issue?
Yeah, thanks for this question, because people are indeed the weakest link in our secure perimeter, and actually that is why we are like spending a lot of time and resources and whatever in developing educational programs to make sure that the people not only like they know how to behave securely, but they are actually behaving that way in their real life. And this is, I think, the games. It's almost the only way how to make the people behave accordingly. I'll just explain how it works. For example, if we are not only to tell them about some appropriate behavior patterns, like how to make a strong password or whatever, but if we are to, well, I'm getting ahead of myself actually, because this is something we're going to talk a little bit later about the role-play video games. But like a small spoiler, if you are, if you will put a person into a virtual environment which is very similar to his real life, real work conditions and life conditions, and if you're proposed to this person the goal which is not directly connected with the cybersecurity, the goal like to complete the project on time or to build an effective relationship, successful relationship, happy relationship, I don't know what's the synonym for it, then and in the process of achieving those goals you'll have to deal with the cybersecurity issues or cybersecurity cases. Then only then you will understand that the cybersecurity affects your daily lives in a very concrete manner. So you just can lose all your money on your account, and then you can be late for work, and that will ruin your relationship just because of one simple error you made online. And we are here to make sure that you will not make this mistake.
You're not here, you're in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me?
You too.
You're just checking whether
Yes.
I'm still feeling in the reality. No. I can tell the difference because.
Well, good.
So yeah, and again, the summary of what I said is definitely the people are the weakest link, and definitely the games can help in fixing this
Okay.
vulnerability.
Now let's talk about virtual reality, which is expensive. You don't have to say the exact numbers, but I trust your word. It is expensive. Why use VR? Why? I mean, like, everybody's overhyping virtual reality and everybody's talking about it. Does it really help?
Well, about VR, like couple of.
By the way,
Yeah.
that game that we have seen, is that really the Kaspersky Industrial Protection Simulation, or that was something different?
No, the game you've seen is just our colleague playing some shooter because he like
To kill the time.
to kill it. No, because he is kind of he's cyber sportsman, so
okay.
he's just preparing for his.
So this is live stream.
for the
People are actually
championship.
training here.
Yeah.
But now what we see on the screen.
Yeah, it wasn't the Kaspersky game, but now what we see is our game, which is Kaspersky Interactive Protection Simulation in VR mode, let's call it that way. And you can see here that it is an power plant scenario. So we made this, because we understood that at some point that Keeps game. You've seen the short movie. It is like it always played online or offline, sorry. And when we switched to online mode, we figured out that it's possible, but it's not that engaging when you are not like communicating with your teammates like face to face. That is why we developed a VR scenario for it. So you can see the cards, for example. Yeah, that is the cards I was talking about. The cards with the actions and the resources you have to spend. We created kind of very immersive experience. It's a total different story when you are like somebody tells you if you made the wrong decision, then the power plant will blow. But when it actually blows, when you are in EVR mode, I think we can. So if
I don't want to imagine what happens then, because it's like radiating fallout.
No, it's not nuclear power plant.
Okay.
So
oh my goodness!
It explodes.
It exploded.
Yeah. It's exploded. It's slow-mo, but still, so you can watch all the debris, falling down. And I think that's the town. Yeah, and it went black. So
blackout.
Yeah, it's total blackout because you have a city there, and you see a city there, and it was like full of lights, but now it's gone. Poof. So of course about the expensive part, it all depends. It's not that expensive as Cyberpunk, for example. But
that was not only very expensive, but actually very flawed from the software standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. That's another problem. I mean, it's a totally different experience in making the VR game, because you have to take into account like 100 of different parameters. For example, you need to think about the lighting, where it is, and how it falls on every object, because otherwise you have nausea and something, and you can't play it, or headache. And at the first one, and of course it's a very hard process, because you need, for example, to know exactly how the power stations, power plants are blown, like how the debris are falling, and which the physics of the blast, for example. Everything needs to be calculated, and it's because you can watch it from every angle, because it's not 2D, it's 3D. But at the end, the major benefit out of it is that you create a truly unique immersive experience for a user. So I don't know how it's the closest thing to the real life, because you cannot blow the real power plant just to prove the point, right? That the cybersecurity is important.
I don't want to think about that.
Right, but you can do this in a simulated, in a virtual reality, and that's why the virtual reality is for.
Okay.
And you had a lot of industrial companies which use VR on a regular basis for educating their employees. Again, in some tasks they are to complete within this power plant, and they use it like for, I don't know, 10 years maybe. But now VR is used, like at least they are making these proof of concept projects in totally different areas, for example in soft skills training, just because for the very same reason, because people are sick and tired of Zoom,
of just webinars,
and
talking heads,
and they want to communicate with people.
Does it kind of add the offline component to the online meetings?
The glasses. It's an offline component.
Okay.
But you need to ship the glasses, to ship the Oculus Quests.
Okay. To wrap up this section, I would like to ask you a question.
Right.
So what does the lesson we learn from this experience when the power plant actually blows up?
You'll learn that So yeah, first of all, you understand that cybersecurity is important. Secondly, you'll after the power plant is blown up, this trainer in the game will explain why it has happened. So which actions which you take were wrong ones, which led to the
catastrophic consequences.
So that the cyber criminals will actually exploded the power plant, and then so this is about entertainment, you know. This is about what we talked before. So when you see the power plant blowed up and you kind of responsible for that, you want to know why it's happened. You want to become better, right? So you are motivated to learn something, just to make sure that it won't happen in real life. It's just like, you know, like flight simulator. Then you don't have to crash the actual airplane to know that you're doing something wrong.
Okay, thanks for this answer. We are moving on to our voting. So I think it's enough for debates. Let's vote to the next question. You just hit next and we go to decide who actually won this debate. So use the same link for voting. The question will be updated in a few seconds. Now, before we go for like a short break, do we always have to use VR when we want to introduce gaming, or there are some cheaper alternatives?
Yeah, like I said, you can do just
maybe mobile games.
I was thinking about SurveyMonkey, you know, just to make or Kahoot. This is a very cheap alternative. But yeah, another alternative is to make like a more typical traditional kind of game, mobile game or video game, or so something which exists in 2D mode, you know.
Okay, this is something we will explore in the next few minutes after the break. See you soon.
Not sure how to engage employees about cybersecurity or how to motivate them to apply the skills they've gained? Security awareness can be a real challenge for educators. It's time to move beyond the traditional approach. Immerse yourself in the atmosphere of a game to experience how cybersecurity really affects our lives. To make training more engaging, Kaspersky presents an interactive visual novel game. In the game, players spend a week in the future. Despite technological progress, there are familiar issues that people of today will recognize. The interactive adventure will immerse you in the daily routine of the future, on a quest to maintain a healthy work-life balance and be successful both personally and professionally. Elements of cybersecurity are woven into the plot, and the game demonstrates how your decisions can help to achieve or disrupt your goals. During the course of the game, you will need to solve 18 cases involving cybersecurity topics including passwords and accounts, email, web browsing, social networks and messengers, computer security and mobile devices. High-level immersive experience with built-in emulated applications. The choices you make during the game are interconnected. The story has several alternate endings depending on your decisions. At the close, players receive a summary of how successfully they coped, what's happening in their hero's life, and whether their cybersecurity skills are good enough for today and tomorrow. Get distracted from work and play. This game is suitable for educational projects, media projects, and larger enterprises. This game runs on mobile phones and PCs. Free demo available now.
Hi again, we're back in our studio where we're discussing the problem of gamification in business education. My name is Sergey Lurie, I am staff geek of Kaspersky, and our guest for today is Denis Barinov, head of Nerdy Affairs. Unfortunately, there were no right answers to my question in chat about the hero of our Omni Future adventure, so no masterclass licenses go away for today. In this last series of video, when you guys are voting for who won this debate, don't forget to click on the voting link which was shared in chat or using the QR code somewhere around here. And we will be talking about your questions in chat and the video game. First question to Denis. Can we protect people from zero-day attacks?
Well, the only way to protect the people from zero-day attacks, I'll be very like simple in my answer, is to update regularly, you know. So, so when you see that update game which closes some zero-day vulnerability, you just install it immediately, not waiting for the working day to end. You know.
I'm going to rephrase this answer. So if we model the person as a neural network which has some 0 days inside it, the only way to update it is to patch it with new knowledge, and that's what we guys are talking about today.
Exactly.
So can you say a few words about this mobile game you guys have seen like a few seconds ago?
Yeah, this is actually our newest product. It's not on air yet, so just watch the news. it will
stay tuned for our updates.
Stay tuned, yeah, stay tuned for our updates. And this game, it's like I said, it's role playing. It's called visual novel. It's quite kind of visual novel. This is a format. This is the genre of the game. It's quite popular among mobile users because it's very simple to. It has very simple mechanics. So the idea behind this game is that you play it after you completed the educational course on some automated online platform. Like you passed through all this pain that Sergey has mentioned. But the general idea behind this game is that when you are learning something about cybersecurity, it is quite like. It's detached from your daily experience. So you just click, you just seeing, okay, so I need to make strong passwords, I need to make blah, 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 blah.
But still, how is it connected to business?
What, the game?
The game you are showing.
Yeah, it just...
Okay, sorry for interrupting.
30 seconds and we'll get there, because I'd love to talk, you know. So
you do.
Yeah, that's why you invited me here. So and after you completed this the training, we need to understand that you actually use your knowledge in daily life, and the game it's all about daily life. So this is so this is a game where you are placed in the near future, and you're placed in a working environment, and you have all these devices around you, like mobile phone emulation, some bank applications, some browser, mail, task tracker, and all these things. And you're just you have to make the decisions, and you have colleagues like you see on the screen. For example, it's your boss actually, and your colleagues who affect your decisions, and they are not always affecting your decisions in a positive way from in the terms of cybersecurity.
Like what?
For example, you have to.
Someone is sending you a phishing link?
No, your colleague asks you to send you some document via unsecured channel because he needs
classified document.
Classified document.
Okay.
And he needs it now. And
that gets juicy.
Yeah, otherwise the boss will like cry at him, and he asks, and you don't have a VPN at this moment, and you say, okay, no, I'm not going to send it via unsecured channel, and this is actually the situation in the game, and you have to decide what's more important for you.
To be fired or
the relations with your friend,
okay,
or the security of the company. And what happens? This is again a spoiler, but what happens? So you can improve the relations with this particular colleague if you do send this document. But
explain something. You do.
Yes.
Okay.
You will improve the relationship.
I would do well in that game.
No, but in the end, it will end up bad for you, because this document would be leaked, because somebody will intercept it via sending, and then it will not end good for you. And this game is all about those dilemmas, those choices, like in real life. So what's more important, security or relations, security or laziness? Security is business,
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, because like in Kip's game, we're explaining why cybersecurity is saving your money and not
and the power plant
and not wasting it, and your power plant and your hospital and your corporation
and your
as a whole, right? And your city, of course, and. Oh, okay. Just
okay.
And this game is this is something actually we kind of scared maybe because nobody did that kind of game yet in cybersecurity, because this is game not about cybersecurity, which teaches you cybersecurity, you know.
Okay.
And we still are going to see how it will work out in the end, but I'm totally believe in the concept that if you are propose a person or a people to play some game which is not related to cybersecurity, and you teach them why cybersecurity is important while achieving some not related goals to cybersecurity, then
like assessing the behavior of the people.
yeah, like then they will learn something. And at least, for example, I can make another small example. You have we teach you that you need to make a strong password, and in the game, at some points, you are proposed to make a password, and then you have a choice whether you remember it, or you put this on a stick on your monitor in the game.
Sticky note.
Yeah, sticky note. On a sticky note. And later in the game, you will have to put this password, and you'll need to remember it, to actually remember it. So if you put it on a sticky note, then a cyber criminal will see it, and again it will end up bad for you. But if you forgot your password in reality, so you need to really remember your password. You have to go to the support, to the IT, and to restore your password. You will lose an hour, and you will not be able to complete the project of time just because you spend your hour in restoring your password. So this is how the game is built on the real life.
Okay, okay. There was a question in chat. Can we take a look at who is actually winning the debate? Yeah, thank you. There was a question in chat. I would like to rephrase it slightly.
Right.
So you said, I'm sure you didn't say all the situations which are there. I get the idea that it's always finding the proper balance between time, money, security, savviness, all this kind of stuff. Is there something you would like to add, like on the next level of this game in the future?
I mean, some other parameters?
Some other situations, some other, or you think you have completed all that you wanted to ask the audience?
Yeah, well, actually, our dream is to make a series of these games, you know, just like a Telltale games, when you have like several, how do you call this? Several small games which united in one series, yeah, which united in one single plot, and then so you have these characters developed, and we really want to see what happens next. So this is only the first part, and we would have eight cybersecurity cases, but we have cybersecurity hundreds of them, you know. So we always know what to do next. So if everything goes well, we will develop this game further, and well, sometimes you will see it on Netflix.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Well, thank you for being with us. I would like to extend my thanks to all the crew that was today with us, the QR guy who's sitting behind us, the lady behind the mobile app, Evgenia, and our video editor, Anatoly. Thank you all for participating in today's live stream and voting. I guess the question for today's debate is definitely yes, businesses should play games because it definitely gives us certain benefits. And I would like to say to all of you, stay safe, play games, educate yourself, and what can you add?
And have fun. Always have fun. While learning, while working, while relaxing. It's the most important thing to do.
Own your future.